WrestleZone presents Lost in the Midcard. Here are your hosts, Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black.
What's up, everybody? It's just me for the time being. Jeremy is running a little bit behind, but we didn't want to, start any later than we did. So here I am. And we're just, we've got a lot to get into tonight. NXT Deadline, Okada, Seth Rollins, lots of stuff to talk about. Hopefully JB will be with us momentarily so we can start running everything down. We got Mark Joe in the chat. What's up, man? Hope you're having a good night. We got Craig here. You have a good evening as well, my friend. And yeah, we're just waiting on my co-host right now, so we should have him at any time now. Apologies for the delay. These things happen. So does anybody in the chat want to talk about anything while we wait for my co-host to arrive? Ah, there he is.
What's up?
The guy is here. What's up, brother?
That's what happens when you have to go to one job to the other. Sometimes
I told everybody, sometimes scheduling happens.
Yeah, I literally go from one job to the other, so sometimes I am going to be stuck at that other job.
It happens.
What's going on? Thanks for joining. My God, how are we almost to halfway through December?
Dude, it's almost 2024. Who you telling? 2023 flew by. Absolutely flew by.
Absolutely. A lot to talk about tonight. Of course, we'll catch you up with the latest. Of course, we had the last PLE of the 2023 with NXT Deadline. A decent show, not the best effort NXT's offered. But see everybody in the chat. Mark Cho, Craig, Frantic World, Stephen Chambers. Thanks for joining us, as always. We are leading you up to Monday Night Raw tonight. And doubleheader in the NFL. What's up with a doubleheader this late?
Yeah, I don't understand why they're playing at the exact same time.
That too.
I really think that's gonna. I think Raw's gonna take a massive hit tonight.
Yeah, and I got to do I got to record another podcast for my gaming website in 2 hours. So I'm gonna just watch Raw tomorrow while I work.
Look, I'll give WWE credit for one thing. They didn't punt tonight.
Yeah, I haven't even.
They have a really strong lineup set for tonight's show. So they're not laying down and playing dead. Like, we're actually getting a really good episode of Raw tonight, based on what's been announced. That's a lot of
damn thing.
That's a lot of football tonight. My freaking fantasy team is down by 22 points, but I have 3 running backs playing tonight. Ha ha ha!
That's right.
I have Mostart, I have a chain, and I've got Derrick Henry all playing tonight. And all he's got is some measly Green Bay wide receiver who I don't even know who he is, Doob or whatever.
Or Dobbs?
Yeah, no, not Dobbs. Some guy named Doob. Doubs. Doobs.
Dobbs. Yeah.
Is that how it's pronounced? Dobbs?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even know who he is, so I'm not worried about him. I got 3 running backs playing tonight. I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting pretty by the time the games are done this evening.
So I made the playoffs in 6 of 7 leagues this year. My big money league being the worst, and of course when I need my team to keep me out of the cellar and not have to bring 2 cases of beer to next year's draft, they just laid a damn egg. I mean, unless Ngakoue and Hopkins for Tennessee just go off tonight, I'm going to be providing.
Well, beer. I mean, I wouldn't be down 20 plus points right now if Stroud and Collins wouldn't have gotten hurt. But what can you do? Part of the game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so weird to have two, and they've been doing that all year as well. They've been doing Monday night at the same time all year. So I don't know, that's just weird. Well, let's get into the lead tonight. The lead is NXT Deadline, the final PLE of 2023. I kind of, in my opinion, Matt, I kind of like given NXT December and kind of given WWE the main side kind of a time to build up to the Rumble. What do you think?
I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, to me, Deadline was on at a bad time. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm not even sure how many people saw it. Because
There was so much going on.
Shows on at the same time on Saturday night. You had NXT Deadline, you had AEW Collision, and you had the last ever Impact big event. I believe it was Final Resolution.
Yeah.
Show. So I mean, like, so much content on. I think it would have better served NXT, even though it was against Eagles and Cowboys. I kind of think a Sunday night NXT Deadline would have been better for them than what they ended up doing. Because I'll be perfectly honest, I've seen highlights, I know what happened, but as part of my job at WrestleZone, I cover AEW Collision on Saturday nights. So I did not see NXT Deadline live, and I followed along with WrestleZone's live coverage of the show while I was working on Collision. So by
Your boys were playing at the same
felt
time.
like I'd already felt like I'd seen the show because I read everything about it. So I didn't like jump on and watch it, because right after I was done with Collision, I turned on the Lakers and the Pacers in the finals of the in-season tournament. I wasn't missing my Lakers playing. So like I didn't even see Deadline. But I'm assuming you did, which will be helpful. But yeah, I mean, I've seen clips, I've seen highlights, I know the results, but I did not actually see the event. And if
I
it would have aired
watched it.
Sunday night, I probably would have watched it.
I watched it live up until I watched through the men's Iron Survivor. So the only things I didn't see live were Kiana James and Roxanne in the cage, and Ilya Dragunov and Baron Corbin for the title. Now, those were probably the two weaker. I mean, the crowd was dead for both matches. I think they got worn out by the two Iron Survivor matches.
I saw
which
a
were
lot
tremendous.
of people on my timeline while I was watching the NBA game. I saw a lot of people bitching about Corbin and Dragunov. And I'm like, this match sounds brutal. Like, I have not seen it, so I can't really comment.
It wasn't bad.
Based on my timeline, people were hating that main event.
I think they were hating it because the crowd was not reacting to it, but it was a better match.
That never helps. That never helps.
No, and it was a better match than Kiana and Roxanne.
Was it that bad?
Not bad, but it could have been on TV. It wasn't a takeover level match like the Iron Survivors. Boy,
yeah, I don't understand why you didn't just close with an Iron Survivor match. I think because they closed with an Iron Survivor match last year.
Yeah, they did.
So I don't see any. You close with Trick, running that last minute gauntlet, and you're closing with fire.
Yeah, he's the hottest guy in NXT right now.
Everybody would be really happy and amped up after that. I think the placement was ill advised.
Holy cow, they had 12 matches on Final Resolution. Only 2 titles on the line too.
That's a lot of
Trent Seven signs with Impact. That's one of the major things that came out of Saturday. I'm sure Sabre and Alexander against the Machine Guns didn't suck. Yeah, and Stephen Chambers in the chat, when Trick came out after the Dragunov match, Carmelo was right behind Trick before WWE pulled the plug. Thought Carmelo was going to do something. I got a theory on that. We'll get into that theory later.
Here's the thing. Had they done something here, had they legitimately done something, this could have explained why Dragunov and Corbin main evented. If something would have happened between Trick Mello to go off the air, then it's like, oh, okay, I get why you closed the way you did. You got a hook or something. Just Carmelo just walking up behind Trick to end the show and not doing anything with it.
I will, we'll get into that in a minute. I got a theory on why they're doing what they're doing and what's going to happen. First, back in the chat, Benjamin in the chat. So CM Punk might be going to NXT. Highly unlikely, but it was very interesting.
NXT is ahead in the poll.
I know.
What WWE issued a tweet. It's like, what
Which
brand
is
do you want to see
hilarious.
Punk sign with? And NXT's in second place. SmackDown's in third. It's hilarious, dude.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to Raw. Because
Yeah, I
that's his
think so,
easiest
too.
way to. What is his main goal? We'll get into the Punk promo after NXT, but his main goal is to main event WrestleMania. I think his easiest way is against Rollins for the world title. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see anybody else there. Hurts and Chase killed Steven in the fantasy world. Yeah, my big money league, man. Unless Tennessee goes off, which that offense kind of sucks under Will Levis. I think I'm gonna be paying 2 cases of beer. But yes, the bright side, I'm in the playoffs and other. The only thing I've really got in the balance right now is a 3 seed versus a 4 seed. If Tyreek Hill doesn't score 20, we get the 3 seed. But we're going to be playing each other anyways. 3-4 is going to be, I think. Well, no, 3 will play 6.
Point, it doesn't even matter.
Nah, 3 will play 6 and 4 will play 5.
Yeah, 4 plays 5. Yeah.
It'll depend on who goes through. It'll depend on who goes through and who really has a stronger team. Because there's one team that's like 7-6 or 6-7 that's got a ton of points. There's just a lot of bad luck. We got Carmelo. We'll talk about that later on in the news here. Let's get into NXT though, kicking off with the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels coming out to his music, and to everybody's surprise, CM Punk's music hits. CM Punk coming out.
Nobody's surprised. Come on.
Everybody thought, I don't know, did they forget their lines or something? It was kind of weird what was going on in the ring.
I think they were just riffing off of each other. I don't think they really had lines.
And then, of course, the selfie, the selfie that's all around the world now. I thought it was a pretty cool open to have Punk show up in NXT. Looked like he had a good time there. A lot of fun ribbing with him wearing a Bret Hart sweatshirt and all sorts of things that came to that. So I thought it was a pretty cool open. Then we kick off Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio against Dragon Lee. Interesting. Absolutely no Judgment Day. And we get a title change, which is even weirder because Dragon Lee has been featured on the main roster so much lately.
They had him lose clean the night before on SmackDown.
Yeah, and
to me, that's just like Triple H ain't talking to Shawn. Like,
I guess
Dominic was out at ringside Friday night. Why didn't Dominic get involved and cost Dragon Lee the match? For him to lose clean like that and then win the title next night, it didn't make any sense.
No, obviously, even though he's a main roster guy, I mean, so was Dominic Mysterio. So it's just weird, especially since
it's almost like that title's is a main roster title now. The way they
and well, of course, Wesley was supposed to be in that match.
I think Wesley was going to win that match.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Wesley out 8 to 12 months with back surgery coming up. Man, what a bummer for that guy, especially making the comeback. After losing the title the first time around. Hell of a run. Unfortunate for Wesley there. He's going to be greatly missed. Hopefully he can come back in the tail end of 2024. Then the Iron Survivor women's match was up next. Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, Kalani Jordan, and Fallon Henley. I predicted Blair was going to win this one because it just made the most sense out of who was in the match. I was correct. But I do got to call out Lash Legend for catching Otis on the previous episode of NXT. Holy crap, was that a sweet moment.
That was an impressive body slam.
Holy cow. I just felt it was Blair's to win because we know she's talented. She's been around. She's a heel. Lila Valkyria has got the title. I don't think Kalani is not quite ready. Lash isn't quite ready for that. Fallon Henley has not really been on a roll. She had to win a last chance match to get into this match. But it was still kind of cool to see both her and Briggs in the match. I thought Josh Briggs did great in the men's match, which we'll get to later. But to me, it was not a surprise that Blair Davenport won. Matt, you?
I think Stratton should have won personally.
Okay.
But
I think
that's
she's
just
getting
my
called up sooner
opinion.
than later.
If she's getting called up, that perfectly explains why she didn't win. But personally,
I could see her in the Rumble.
I would have put Stratton over. But they're already teasing that Blair's got the Iron Survivor deal, but Cora Jade's back and she's already attacking the champion. So it's just like, okay.
Cora Jade returning after a few months off. I don't know why she was I don't know if she was hurt or something. But attacked Lila Valkyria while she was standing in the entrance ramp while Blair Davenport was looking on. So that was the surprise that wouldn't surprise you if you're a Fightful Select subscriber, because that was reported. I don't know. I don't know. We got New Year's Evil is coming up literally. That's probably
I think it's the first NXT show of
it's a special
2024
NXT show, not a PLE, right?
So
their next PLE
that'll be January 2nd. It'll be January 2nd for that.
Vengeance Day. I wonder if something screwy is going to happen and they end up in a triple threat at Vengeance Day. I'm kind of wondering. I'm not sure if
I guess it all depends on how the match at New Year's Evil goes. So
yeah, I could see that, especially if it being on NXT TV. I could see that just being a screwy finish, and Vengeance Day is going to be a triple threat. Just smells like that. Carmelo Hayes against Lexis King, decent match. Great, it was a pretty good match between those two guys. And probably something that wasn't that big of a surprise to everybody. Lexis King getting on the mic saying he only said that he attacked Trick to get that PLE match, which was pretty funny. And of course, we all know Mello attacked Trick. Ain't no surprise. My guess is, now Matt differs on me with me a little bit. That's why she was out. She got some upgrades. That might be why. Braun Breaker appreciates those upgrades. My guess, here's how I think it's going to go down. I don't think Mello turns on Trick until after. I think he's going to, especially with the lukewarm reception that Dragunov and Corbin got at Deadline. I think Trick's going to take the title from Dragunov, and then Mello's going to reveal that he turned, and it's going to be for the title at Stand and Deliver. Trick will retain. Mello debuts at WrestleMania, unless they're expecting Mello to progress.
If Mello goes up after Stand and Deliver, it'll be the Raw after Mania. He's not gonna debut at 40.
No.
But
yeah.
I can't get out of my head that Carmelo is going to cost Trick his title match at New Year's Evil, and I want to be wrong on that, but just that's where it seems like it's going right now. And my big issue with it is, no offense to Dragunov, because the dude's great in the ring, but his NXT Championship reign right now has been a total dud. And honestly, all eyes and focus are on the Trick Mello storyline right now.
And that is exactly why I don't think that he's going to be the champion at Stand and Deliver. Just because it's been...
Well, what if Carmelo wins the title back and Trick beats him for the title at Stand and Deliver?
I'll take that too.
Because that could be just as big.
How are you going to get that? How are you going to squeeze all that in? You do that on an NXT?
We've got plenty of months. They'll figure it out. But yeah, I think Dragunov's reign needs to come to an end sooner rather than later. I'd love for Trick to beat him in New Year's Evil. I just feel like Mello's gonna unfortunately reveal his true colors and cost Trick the match.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on that. I guess you could have Mello win it. I don't know. It just kind of makes more sense to me with Trick already having the number one contendership. If he, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, I think we're heading towards Mello and Trick at at Stand and Deliver, I think, is almost set in stone. You know, the news on Mello in the U.S. content. Now, is that a single elimination tournament, that U.S. title thing?
Yeah, it's just your typical eight-man tournament.
Yeah.
And
So
I think he's facing Austin Theory in the first round. I'm pretty sure it's Theory. So
yeah, I think
it's either
you're
Theory
right
or
there.
Waller. I'm thinking it's Theory.
Mm-hmm.
So
Next up is the Iron Survivor for the men. Dijak, Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, Tyler Bate. Man, I was really confused on where they were going here with this, especially we got about 5 minutes left. Trick has got 0 on the board. Literally almost everybody's at 3. I think it was Dijak at 3. Briggs was at 2, Breaker at 3, because Breaker just came in and went bang, 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 speared everybody and got 3 quick wins. Tyler Bate was at 3.
all right, everybody in the chat says it's Waller. It's
Mm.
Grayson Waller and Carmelo. So that means,
No,
as Mark Show says, it's Austin Theory and Kevin Owens. So there you go.
the same
so those will be
punchable
the matches
face.
on SmackDown Friday.
The same punchable face.
They're almost interchangeable at this point. That's why they're a tag team.
So that was wild to see Trick just go out of the penalty box and get 4 wins in 5 minutes. I did not. I just thought maybe now it was going to be.
It was more than, but you got more. It was almost like he got 4 wins in like 2 minutes.
Yeah,
or even less, because I watched the clip on social media afterwards of him securing all 4 falls, and they were in quick succession of each other. He might have landed all 4 of those pinfalls in a minute's time. Like, it was kind of crazy.
It was
So
nuts how it was just nuts how.
That's an awesome ending to a match.
Yeah, it was, because we're sitting here 5 minutes left in the match, and you got 3 guys at 3, Briggs at 2, Briggs again. I thought looked real good. And Mix and Melis or Trick sitting there with 0. I'm like, what the heck's going on? I mean, are we pushing Dijak maybe for a quick title match to lose to Dragunov, or what are we doing here? You know, and all of a sudden, like a house on fire, Trick just got 4 points. So it's kind of a unique way to end that. I thought both Iron Survivor matches were very entertaining, very good, well done. Like I said, Briggs on his own there showed up, I thought, and looked really good in that. And then then the two, I think that just that big win by Trick, I think, and then obviously that's a 25-minute match, both Iron Survivor match. I just think the crowd was done after that.
I think they put together the pay-per-view wrong. I think the wrong matches were in the wrong spots, and I think they kind of hurt themselves with that.
Any word on Charlotte? What are you talking about?
She got injured on SmackDown on Friday, not at work. She's been sent home to Florida until she gets more tests. Seemingly a knee injury that she suffered during the commercial break, and they basically rushed to the finish of her match with Asuka. There's not a whole lot of information out there. Just that it's not a work. It's a legit injury. She's at home. They want to run more tests, and hopefully, God willing for her, she's not going to miss WrestleMania again, because she's had injuries around this time of year before, and she ends up missing WrestleMania because of it. And knee injuries can be super serious.
Yeah.
So if she gets the wrong results back on an MRI or whatever, she might be out of WrestleMania 40.
That's a bummer. I mean, I don't know what direction they were going to go with here, but with her, I figured Bailey and Io.
A lot of people were hoping that they might do Damage Control against the 4 Horsewomen. That Sasha was going to come back to WWE, and they were going to do like an 8-woman tag with Damage Control and the 4 Horsewomen. But even if that was the plan, that's out the window now. If Charlotte can't go. So who knows?
That's a bummer, man. If that was the plan, some bitch, that would be Yeah, not good. But yeah, it just like it just took the air out, I think. But I think overall it was a decent show. Wasn't the best showing of NXT of the year. No Mercy was tremendous, so it's kind of hard to beat that anyways. So but hey, a decent show. Again, NXT has been a good show. Very enjoyable, but I think Matt probably hit the nail on the head. Wrong match order. And that's why I think if the crowd is not reacting to Dragunov, he has some epic matches, but I don't think he's had those epic matches as champion. And I just think maybe that's where I think you got to take it off.
He's
give
yet
it
to
to
have
Trick,
he's yet to have a reign defining feud.
Yeah.
He's like, since the stuff with Hayes ended, he hasn't faced anybody that the crowd can look at and go, okay, legitimate chance, that Dragunov's going to lose this. No one for 1 second believed that Corbin was going to win that match.
No.
So, like, to have that at close the show, it just didn't work.
No. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. If there's a way, I don't know how you get Mello in there, how you shoehorn him in there to get against Dragunov. If they figure out a way, I guess that's going to tell you the story. Otherwise, I think the logical plan is to have Trick win at New Year's Evil.
I hope you're right. I really do.
Yeah.
I want you to be right. I don't say that very often, JB, but I want you to be right.
Moving on to the next thing, we had Phil talking on SmackDown in the middle of the show so he wouldn't get cut off. He made sure to say that. Brand new WWE shop shirt. Hell froze over. Hell's going to freeze over again on our next story. We'll get there in a minute. But big pop for CM Punk on Friday, of course, as well. He's going to get a big pop no matter what. But he teased that the Monday Night Raw fans were louder, so then the fans booed him, asking where he's going to sign. And then he points. Then he says that he asked if the fans want him to throw 29 other superstars over the top rope and point to a sign. So he also mentioned an old friend that welcomed him back with open arms and said, "What do you guys want to talk about?" Of course, later on you'll see a little segment with Cody and CM Punk backstage. It was kind of. I thought it was kind of cool that they kind of intermingled Punk with a lot of backstage segments on Friday, especially the LA Knight Randy Orton one.
The whole thing is like, well, we're probably never having him on Friday again for a while, so let's get him in as many backstage segments as possible before he signs with Raw on Monday.
Yeah. He said that he could tell some stories about Cody Rhodes, but he wants to talk to someone who is not there or somebody that is never there. And he mentioned Roman Reigns and also said that he's the OG Paul Heyman guy. Isn't Brock Lesnar the OG Paul Heyman guy, Matt?
See, I was thinking that too, and I thought, I don't know if that was a tease to eventually bring Lesnar back for something because they forgot about him or what. But yeah, Lesnar is the OG Paul Heyman guy in WWE. You can't forget about that. I mean, Heyman even turned on Punk to go back with Brock, for crying out loud. So
hit him in the dick at the 2014, his last appearance, hit him in the dick. Then he talked about teaming with Randy Orton. Why does everybody want to team with Randy Orton all of a sudden?
Because he's former tag team champ with that guy who's not here no more.
Then he mentioned Roman Reigns. He mentioned Kevin Owens. Of course, a lot of ROH lineage there between the two. We got a pretty funny face-off backstage as well later on that night. He does say that Owens could be a bit prickly and they're too much alike. Though I would love a Punk and Owens tag team somewhere down the line.
I've heard KO's not his biggest fan.
Probably not.
So,
and well, there it was. He said that JBL was even happy to see him. He gave a wink and a nod at the old randomly. Or what was it? Talking about guys who randomly punch people backstage. Of course, KO did it in a kayfabe way, and well, Punk, we all know what happened there. That was kind of a wink and a nod of what happened at AEW.
Yep.
Said that even JBL's happy to see him. And everybody welcome him back with open arms, except for one guy. It's not even the man in his own household. Oh, man. Below the belt. But he didn't mention Seth by name, but we all know who he's talking about. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good promo. Obviously,
it was worlds better than what he did on Raw.
A lot less vanilla than Raw, yeah.
Yeah, much better. I felt like we had a more direction of where his character is heading over the next couple months, thanks to this promo. Because I feel like we didn't get much of anything from the Raw one. So this was a big step in the right direction.
Plus, they had to rewrite Raw on the fly because creative wasn't aware that Phil was coming. So that was also another reason why they will do that. So Ryan Johnson in the chat, where do you think Jade will sign? I thought
I think she's just going to pop up on NXT. I think they saw her. I think they saw her in ring work, and they're like, she's not ready for the main roster. And I think that's what happened. So,
MK right above. Who finishes his story first, Cody or CM Punk?
Which is
whoever main events.
We got whoever main events here.
Whoever main events the WrestleMania Night 1.
If Cody and Punk are both at the end of the Rumble, who's going over the top rope first? I think Cody's winning the Rumble. I really and truly do. I do not think CM Punk is going to be a monkey wrench in Cody Rhodes' story.
Phil doesn't need
I think Cody
to win.
Cody's getting his match with Roman and or Randy Orton if somehow the Rock is able to work WrestleMania 40. One way or another, I think Cody's getting his Universal / WWE Championship match at WrestleMania 40, and he's finishing his story there.
Yeah, I think Punk does not need to win the Rumble to get to Rollins, especially if he signs with Raw. So, Stephen Chambers in the chat, laughed my head off after the Orton segment with Aldis. Give Aldis $100,000 for now. That was pretty good. Aldis taking it in stride. Maybe he has done his homework on Randy Orton.
We're gonna get into
that later. Yeah, we'll get into Seth later.
We're gonna be hitting these topics quick and fast and furious over the next 15 minutes.
Yeah, MK said Dragunov needs to be called up to defeat Gunther for the title. Maybe, I don't know.
He ain't over enough to be the man to defeat Gunther right now.
Yeah. Cody or Nakamura?
And Cody has to win.
Yeah, unless there's some chicanery. I don't know. But anyways, moving on to Hell Freezing Over Part 2. This was announced on Thursday. Kazuchika Okada is going to return to TNA on January 14th. It's Snake Eyes, special pay-per-view event at the Palms in Las Vegas on the January 14th. If you don't remember Okada's run in TNA, you're better off for it.
I was going to say, you don't want to remember it.
They basically made him a comic book character that was really not going to get over.
This man has spent the last decade plus burying TNA / Impact Wrestling. So the fact that they have come to an agreement to bring Okada into work once they're back to TNA, unbelievable. Like, hell froze over twice in pro wrestling in the last month. Between Punk being back in WWE and Okada working TNA, freaking wild, man.
Stephen Chambers said, Kato from the Green Hornet. That was basically his gimmick.
It's exactly what it was. Yep.
Dumb. It is amazing that Okada is going to be wrestling it for Snake Eyes Sunday, January 14th. So it's a TV taping, not a pay-per-view. Well, it was a Sunday, so I figured it was one of their monthly.
It should be a pay-per-view. If they were smart, it would be.
So we're talking about a certain guy that Phil may be facing at WrestleMania. His name, of course, is Seth Rollins, and that's the song we all love to sing. And this dropped by Fightful Select this afternoon that yet another man has been added to the free agent class of 2024, and it is Seth freaking Rollins. Fightful Select has learned that Rollins' contract is going to end in June of next year. As a couple weeks ago, there have not been discussions regarding an extension. As you can imagine, Rollins has been he's the only guy to hold that new world title right now. So obviously WWE thinks a lot of him. I would his wife is there. I would assume Seth is not leaving.
Look, we've one thing I've learned over the past couple years in professional wrestling is to no longer speak in absolutes. And here's the thing. We hear all the Punk stories going on over the past 2 weeks. How great he is backstage, how happy he is to be there, how great he is to be around. This is 2021 AEW all over again. We had this exact same Punk then, and then it all went to hell. Who's to say that by, WrestleMania 40's come and done, that Punk's not, prickly, angry Punk again backstage? We don't know. And if
by
Punk,
God,
if
is
Punk
that Tyler Black?
If Punk's Captain Grumpy Pants again, post WrestleMania 40, and Rollins and Becky's deals are up in June, I am not 100% certain that they would stick around. I'm just not. And Punk needs the way Punk will rub people over the next few months could heavily impact free agency across both companies.
I wonder
because
how
there could be some people that are expiring in AEW. They're like, man, I worked with Punk over here. I don't want to work with him over there, and choose to stay in AEW. And there are people that could be in WWE right now. Said, I never want Punk. I didn't want Punk back. I'm annoyed that he's here. I'm going over to AEW. Like, free agency is going to be crazy in 2024, 2025. And I think Punk's jump to WWE is going to have a lot to do with it.
I wonder what the relationship is behind the scenes between him and Drew McIntyre as well. That is interesting. As we briefly had already mentioned here, there was word that there would be an NXT participant in the United States title top contender tournament, and that guy is going to be him, Carmelo Hayes. Shawn Michaels announced that Carmelo Hayes will be the representative. That's going to be this Friday on SmackDown against Grayson Waller. Be interesting to see if he comes up victorious. What comes about, really? I mean, if he sticks? I mean, you got to finish that NXT story, especially if he's the guy. So I don't see this as a complete sticking in the main roster.
His placement in a tournament doesn't make a lot of sense to me, because to me the story was KO going through Theory and Waller, and then he would face who's on the other side of the bracket. I'm blanking on Bobby Lashley, and KO would face Bobby Lashley in the finals. So Melo being in this tournament in this spot doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I feel like it's got to be done in some story. He's going to lose in some storyline fashion that's going to protect him. At least I would hope so, to continue things with Trick and NXT. Because to me, it doesn't make any sense for him to go over. Him and KO would be an awesome match. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to the story that they've been telling on SmackDown in recent weeks. So
I guess we'll see how it goes.
I'm not sure how this is going to go.
Bryan Danielson, man, had 2 matches in 2 nights, 2 great matches in the Continental Classic. If you've been paying attention on commentary, you know that Nigel McGuinness has taken all the digs he can at Bryan Danielson, and we all know why. But now it's starting to come out that Bryan Danielson is more open to face Nigel McGuinness at Wembley at All In next year, when this was potentially going to happen last year, but obviously Danielson couldn't wrestle. So since he suffered that broken arm at Forbidden Door when he fought Okada. Of course, that didn't happen. But yeah, this is basically the worst kept secret right now, right? As much as he's they saved the clams.
I couldn't help.
That clam digger. Oh, there you go, that clam digger.
I couldn't help myself, man.
The American clam digger. I mean, geez,
I want to see that match at All In badly.
Yes,
Like
I
that.
mean,
That's the match that I want.
if you pay attention to any of Nigel McGuinness's commentary, which is great, he takes a shot. Danielson is my number 2 favorite in this Continental Classic. Who's your number 1? Everybody else, sucker.
He gets those digs in on Danielson with the quickness. Like,
oh, they're so good. They're
yeah.
so good. And at any time, any moment, probably just waiting for the right time, Thunder Rosa has let it known that she is ready. So whenever the call comes for Tony Khan to have her return to AEW, she is going to be ready. So she is, of course, she's been out of action since mid-October of 2022 with a back injury. But she is ready to go. So once there is a spot for her, don't be surprised to see Thunder Rosa making her return back to AEW. And I'd assume down the line, Britt Baker probably making a return too. So that women's division just only going to get stronger, Matt.
You know, if you look, you got Thunder ready to come back. I feel like Britt's going to be back sooner rather than later. Jamie Hayter will probably be back in the early part of 2024. If they get all those back, and heaven forbid Mercedes Moné decides to be a woman of her word and come in and work with AEW instead of going back to WWE, that women's division for that company in 2024 could be insanity.
Yeah.
Absolute insanity. And, you know, like, because right now, like, I think 2023, the downside for the women's division in AEW in 2023 was the amount of injuries that occurred. Like, Jamie Hayter's injury caused like a domino effect of issues of booking within that division, and I don't think they've fully recovered from it. You know, they're doing the best they can, but I think there's a potential for that division to just like completely blow up in a very positive way in 2024. They have all the right tools as long as everybody's healthy. It's like I forgot Serena Deeb should be back.
Rebel says she wants to get back
soon as well.
Rebel says she wants to get back in the ring. That was another report that Rebel is still under contract.
I would love to see the Rebel and Britt pairing again. I never understood them breaking them up just because Britt was a babyface.
She wants to wrestle. So maybe she'll come back.
I think the future is very bright for the AEW women's division.
And you got Deonna Purrazzo as a free agent. So
how do you not go after her? If you're any company, how do you not go after her? Like, and if I'm AEW, I'm doing everything in my power to bring Purrazzo in.
I don't think she had 2 runs where WWE fumbled her. So I just don't see it. I just don't see her going to WWE. Real quick before we get to looking ahead to this week, Continental Classic update. Brody King, the big surprise of the tournament, still 2-0, 6 points. He did not wrestle this week. Danielson wrestled 2 matches this week, went 1-1 as a surprise loss to Andrade El Idolo in just an amazing match on Collision where the eye came into play. Man, that was so good. As I predicted, Eddie Kingston gets a win. He's going to be kind of getting that babyface push back up to the top of the blue league.
I think he wins out.
I do too.
I think it's going to be him and Danielson in the finals of the blue league, and I think Kingston beats him.
Unfortunately, Danny Garcia 0-3 on the Gold League. Moxley and Swerve at 9 points, 3-0. They collide on Wednesday. Jay White Jay White sitting there with 6 points, while Roosh 3 points. Lethal and Briscoe 0 points. Another note on Briscoe: a nice tribute to Jay is going to happen at Final Battle, 6-man tag match between FTR and Mark Briscoe. And I'm blanking on the other team right now.
It's Blackpool Combat Club. It's Danielson, Mox, and Claudio in a fight without honor match.
Thank you.
So, that match is going to be insane.
Looking forward to Wednesday. Winter is coming. 3 Continental Gold League matches, Roosh J Lethal, which is basically 3 points combined. I'm sure Lethal probably going to get the win and basically push Roosh down. And because we all know who's going to be winning that Gold League, it's going to come down to the two guys facing each other, Swerve and John Moxley. That'll probably be your main event.
You cannot roll out Jay White coming in the very end and sniping it away from one of those two.
Yeah,
but it does seem like Mox or Swerve are the play right now. But like I'm not ready to roll out Jay White just yet.
Jay White takes on Mark Briscoe. We'll hear from Samoa Joe. We'll hear from the Golden Jets. Ruby Soho takes on the returning Riho. When I saw the headlines of a returning world champion, because I was gone, I thought Jamie Hayter had come back, but it was Riho that came out there.
I was surprised it was Riho in the spot, not Thunder Rosa, to be perfectly honest.
True.
I was very surprised by that. But with AEW running through Texas this month, it seems like a no-brainer. That's where Thunder's going to make her return.
Next Strong, Roderick Strong taking on Hangman Page and the Von Erichs.
Oh, come on, dude. It's Roderick Strong taking on Hangman. Adam!
The Von Erichs also returning to Dallas, of course, to promote the new film coming out very soon. And Monday Night Raw is coming up in just a minute. Will CM Punk sign with Raw? We'll find out. Cody Rhodes taking on Shinsuke Nakamura. Becky Lynch calling out Nia Jax. Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre going one-on-one. And Maxine Dupree takes on Rhea Ripley in non-title.
What a freaking card on Raw tonight! Like I said, they're not punting, brother. I'm excited. I'm actually legitimately excited for Raw tonight. It seems like a stacked show.
I'm curious to see how if Maxine gets some offense or if it's just going to be a squash. Obviously, Maxine has been on a roll lately. She has been doing well. She's improving as a wrestler, which is pretty cool. We just got the Fightful plans real quick. Bronson Reed and Ivar again. Yes, please. That was awesome. Looks like they're going to still stick with possibly Dupree and Ivy Nile as a tag team going forward. Katana Chance, Caden Carter taking on Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Good to see LeRae and Hartwell. We don't see enough of them on the brand. Von Wagner is going to work main event. Spoilers. Anything surprising? Nothing much really. There's a spoiler tag match that'll be fun, but other than that, I won't spoil it for you unless you're a Fightful Select owner. You can check it out.
To quickly answer your question, Frantic World, I do not know if AEW signs the Von Erichs.
Oh, God.
I feel like their roster is rather loaded right now as is. If they sign them, I think they would be perfect for Ring of Honor. For the time being, I wouldn't rush them onto AEW TV after that.
Christian, you know he's coming out. Hey, where's your father?
Yeah.
Oh, God. MK called it. Any last thoughts, Matt?
Oh, that's an interesting thing.
He probably
I just like Raw's starting now. I'm excited for it. Hopefully, we're gonna have a great week between Raw and Dynamite and Collision and SmackDown and everything. I think we're in for some really good professional wrestling this week. So
hell yeah. All right. Follow Matt on the Twitter at Rob Showtime, me on the Twitter at JB Huskers. Once again, thanks for tuning in to Lost in Midcard, brought to you by WrestleZone. We'll be back at you this time next week. Have a good week, fellas.